All right, great Wednesday morning, everyone. Hope you're doing well. So that's Mascoro Jr. with Manufactured Home Sales Mastery, in with your 15 minutes to mastery. Today is episode number 238, and we do this each and every day, 7 days a week, to bring you some information, inspiration, motivation to get your day started off on the right foot, because we know that life comes at you hard. We know that there's so much toxicity out around in your community, around you, in the world, that we want to make sure that we're doing our part to help you stay insulated from that and get going, because what we do is so very important, not just to yourself, not just to your family, but especially to those folks that you're helping to become homeowners so that they can improve their life, their lifestyle. So we want to make sure that you're doing that. And today we're talking about the fact that you cannot win the scarcity mindset. You can't win with a scarcity mindset. And believe it or not, most housing consultants carry a scarcity mindset. You would think that people in sales don't operate with scarcity. They don't operate thinking in that manner. Most of them do. And I'm going to explain to you how that happens, what it is. How does scarcity show up in the mind and actions and attitude of a person, and especially one in sales or one that is starting out a business? But check this out. Every day we have a quote, or just about every day we have a quote to go along with what we're talking about today. Wayne Dyer, really, I love what he has to say here. It says, there is no scarcity of opportunity to make a living at what you love. There's only scarcity of resolve to make it happen. There's only scarcity of resolve to make it happen. In other words, there's only scarcity of the willingness, of the desire, of the fortitude to push through, to make it happen, because there's going to be hard times, because there's going to be setbacks, because there's going to be obstacles, and there's going to be days that you get punched in the face and in the gut and kicked while you're down and all of that good stuff. And it's all fun, baby. It's all, you just got to smile. You got to grin and bear it, right? But if you can do that and you keep pushing through, you have that resolve, that grit, that determination to make it through, and you'll make it happen. Because as Wayne Dyer says, it's not that there's a limited opportunity, it's that there's limited resolve within us as humans to get things moving, get things going, and keep pushing through. Not most people will do that. But anyway, here we go. Check this out. As far as a scarcity mindset, how does it show up? What is the deal with it, right? So this is a belief. This is a pervasive belief, a belief that holds you back, because you start to think that the resources, the opportunities, that success is limited, that it only happens to everybody else. It doesn't happen to me. Only that guy can sell. Only that guy selling the multiple homes has that opportunity. Only this lady over here has the resources. She's better liked, and whatever it may be, right? It's a fear that there's never enough, which leads to constant worrying. Oh my God, what's going to happen? Oh, I can't do this and I can't do that. And a fear of competition. There's always going to be competition, and competition is a damn good thing, because competition keeps you on your toes. If you're truly willing to make things happen, if you're willing to make this career the best one yet for you, because it's going to springboard into other things for you, you've got to love the fact that there's competition. There will always be. If there were no competition, you'd get lazy. You're already lazy as it is. Right? You would not be trying to improve if there was no competition, because why do it with that? That's why there's laws against monopolies, right? Because if you only have one company doing something, well, there's not really much you can do. And so if you had no competition, you would actually regress. You go backwards. So it's that fear of not having enough, that there's never enough, that there's not going to be enough. Oh my gosh, I can't start this business because, what if people don't buy? No, the people are there that are going to buy. It's just, are you going to put in the work so that they know that you're there to buy from you? And are you going to put in the work to earn their business? Not just because you talk to them one time are they going to buy. No, there's what we call a sales cycle. It could be a day, it could be a week, it could be in the matter of manufactured homes. It could be 2 or 3 months, depending on, how long it takes to get a deal closed and get a home built, right? So it's that fear that keeps people in that scarcity mindset, in thinking that, this, worried constantly, and you just, you get in your own way. And that type of mindset could significantly affect your personal and professional life, without a doubt. Without a doubt. If you operate from a scarcity mindset, it's going to affect your own personal life, and it's going to affect your professional life. It's going to get in the way of your personal relationships. If you're constantly worrying, if nobody's saying that nobody is saying that the possibilities aren't there to fail. Nobody is saying that the possibilities are not there, that you're going to have setbacks, that you're not going to be able to pay certain things, that you're going to go without. Nobody's saying that it's not there. But if that's what you're focused on, you're going to get in your own way, and you're going to create problems for yourself and within your relationships, and you're going to create problems within your professional relationships as well, especially for those of you in manufactured home sales, because if you're that kind of person, no GM, no manager is going to tolerate having somebody like that on their staff. I can't have it around in my own family, much less within my staff. And believe me, it sometimes happens within your own family. And man, you've got to push through and you got to deal with it. But, what leads to having that scarcity mindset? It's past experiences, man. The way you were brought up. Case in point for myself, the person you see and hear today is not who I was, not even 15 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago. The way I grew up very poor. I'm a first generation American. My parents are from Mexico. My mom my mom works her butt off, but my mom is also very of a limited mindset. Like, we just need to do enough to provide for ourselves, maybe help out some others. But the upbringing that you go through, okay, the part of town I grew up in, the school district I went to, and that kind of thing will affect your vision and your mindset. And you feel that things are limited. If you grew up very poor, it's very easy to feel that things are limited because that's all you see. That's all that's around you. So your environment, your cultural, your ethnicity also can play into that. Right? The current economic conditions, obviously, with inflation being what it is, and inflation is real. And if you want to pretend that it's not, shame on you, because you're doing yourself and you're doing the rest of the community a disservice. If you want to pretend that it's not a real thing, if you want to wear rose-colored glasses just because you're not trying to accept the reality of it, because then it makes your political party look bad. Okay, I'm not even going to get into that. Okay. The current economic conditions will also lead to having that scarcity, because who wouldn't, when money's tight, who wouldn't feel like, oh my gosh, I'm about to lose this and I'm about to lose that, or how am I going to provide food? How am I going to pay the electric bill? Who would not, right? Who would not? People losing their jobs left and right, or not having jobs that pay enough money. That leads to that as well, right? And then you've got your own personal self-doubt. If you're not confident in yourself because you don't have the skills, or if you're not confident in what you can do, that leads to that fear of failure, because you have low self-esteem. I say it all the time, right? I say it all the time. I have to be my biggest fan. And you have to be your biggest fan, because if you don't believe in yourself, nobody else is going to believe in you. They already don't believe in you. And if you don't believe in yourself, it's going to be even worse. So don't let people tell you that you're cocky. Don't let people tell you that you're conceited. Don't let people get in your head and, well, why are you always feeling like you have to be? Because there's so much BS out there that's trying to knock you down and bring you down, that if you didn't, you would just end up like the majority of people. So that your own self-doubt, low self-esteem will create that scarcity mindset. Don't let that happen either. Okay. Do not let that happen either. Tell my boys all the time, head high, shoulders back, chest out. Let's go. Make things happen. Because if not, the world will knock you down. Those customers out there will eat your lunch, chew you up, spit you out, move on to the next one. And you can't have that. You need to be the person that believes in yourself so that that confidence shines through so that you can make an impact on the world, and especially with those people that you're speaking to on a daily basis. Right? So that's where scarcity mindset comes, what it is and where it comes from. Okay. Now, why is it dangerous for someone in manufactured home sales to have a scarcity mindset? Oh my gosh, where should we start? All right. Where should we start? And this is just about manufactured home sales, folks. This is just about life in general. So if you're watching this and you're not doing you're not in manufactured home sales, that's okay. I'm glad you're watching because I hope you can take this information, make it yours, and apply it in your own life because it will help you in anything that you're doing, professionally and personally. Okay. So why is it dangerous to have a scarcity mindset in manufactured home sales and in whatever you do? First, it's going to get in your way of taking risks. Now, calculated risks, right? But even calculated risks can be risks. They are risks. There's the word risk. It's there. So you could have thought everything through. You could have planned everything out, and it does not turn out the way that you thought it was going to be. Guess what? It happens all the time. Hey, it happened to me with Manufactured Home Sales Mastery. I thought this business was going to be about this, and I thought it was going to take off right off the bat. And I thought, man, there's nothing really like it. So when I introduce it to the market, I've been in the industry for 14 years at that point in time. People are they're going to grab a hold of it. They're going to want to run with it. And boom. Boy, was I dead wrong. 7 months, folks, 7 months, $0, nothing coming in, wondering where the heck I was going to pull money out of to be able to pay for even the electric bill, food for my family. So if you have a scarcity mindset, you're never going to take those risks. And I thank God each and every day that I did, because now we're at the point where we're at, had the resolve to push through, like Wayne Dyer talked about in his quote, right? But by having a scarcity mindset, it's going to prohibit you from taking risks. Those risks that you think in the back of your, man, I'd love to do this. Even if it's another career, I would love to be able to do this, but I don't know. And there you are. It also gets in the way of innovation. It gets in the way of you thinking, because if you're a scarcity mindset, you can't think of other ways to make it work because you feel that this is the only way and it didn't work this way. And oh my gosh. And there you go. But if you don't have a scarcity mindset, you can react, you can think things through, you can innovate, you can think of a different way to make it happen, and then you put your energy and your actions into that, right? So by that scarcity mindset will lead to stagnation because you're going to get paralyzed. You're just going to sit there and you're going to not even try new ideas. It also damages your relationships with your customers, okay? Because you seem desperate. If you're operating from scarcity, you seem desperate. You got salesman breath is what they describe it, right? And what do I? As opposed to building value, showing confidence, and explaining why it is that it's in their best interest to purchase a home from you. You're just so desperate, and that desperation, they can sense it, they feel it, and it just turns the customer off, and they just want to move away. Plus, it creates a lack of trust. Operating with scarcity and coming across this way creates a lack of trust, because why is this guy or gal trying so hard to get this done? Why does this person seem so desperate? Or you start saying things knowing that it's not true, and they know it. You start making promises that are not true. You start creating yourself even bigger problems by having that scarcity mindset. Okay. So prohibits you from taking risks. It gets in the way of you creating new ideas, innovating. It also will damage your relationship with your customers. It's going to reduce your overall performance. Obviously, if you're stressed and you're always anxious and you've got a negative attitude and you just feel it's going to reduce your overall performance. It just stands to reason that that would happen. Wouldn't we agree? Right? And so when that happens, obviously it's going to limit your personal and your professional growth. You're going to start sabotaging yourself, and you're going to start thinking, well, this isn't going to work. Or you ran into that one roadblock and, oh, you just give up. And man, and the next thing you know, shoulda, coulda, woulda, you missed that opportunity. And then you're lying in your deathbed and I wish I would have just pushed through. Now, is that very extreme? It's extreme to say right now, but it's the damn truth. It's the damn truth. And excuse me for using that language, but you may not be thinking right now. I may not be thinking right now at 52 years old that, man, in 30, 40 years, whenever it is that I'm laying on my deathbed, I tell my kids I'm going to live to about at least 110. So for me, another 60 years, right? Wait. Yeah, 60 years. I would hate to be laying on my deathbed and then think, I gave up on manufactured home sales mastery too soon. That, had I given up in those first 7 months, I'd have been laying there 50, 60 years from now with that regret of that missed opportunity. You don't want that. You don't want that. I'd rather would have pushed through, failed, lost everything, and then rebuilt it because I know that I can, than to have not even tried or just given up because, it got a little shaky for a while. Everybody that has done anything huge, it gets shaky for. So starting out a new career in manufactured home sales, building a pipeline, knowing that it's going to take 90, 120 days before you start seeing consistent money because you got to get homes built, you got to get them delivered, you got to get deals funded. Things may get shaky for a while, but man, it is so worth it. It is so worth it. So how can we overcome a scarcity mindset? All right. Because I'm running over on time, folks. I'm running over on time. Man, these last few, about the last week, I've been going 20, 25 minutes on these things because it's so important. And I'm so jazzed up to be able to help as many of you as possible. So let's get into how do we overcome a scarcity mindset? Very, very great question. So here we go. First and foremost, right? That's not what we want to do there. Hold on. Let's see what we got. There we go. And it shouldn't. Oh my goodness. I can't believe that it did that. Here we go. Amen. Live. We're live. Now you know that we're live. Shift to an abundance mindset. You got to shift to an abundance mindset. Leave scarcity behind. Focus on the opportunities. Don't focus on the problem. Don't focus on what could happen. Focus on what could happen negatively. Focus on what could happen good. What can happen great. What is out there. And the other way you're going to be able to do that is by practicing gratitude. And here I got an example for you guys. Okay. So I've mentioned it to you before, and I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. But here in our family, we have what we call the Grateful Book. And we've gone through so many of these over the years, right? But it's this book right here. Check this out. Each and every day, or at least every day, everyone in the family has to write what they're grateful for in this book. Okay. And it, even if they're going through the motions, even if our boys or myself or my wife, we're going through the motions, just writing something down, at the end of the day, in writing it, it still pops up. It's still right there. You at least thought one great thought for that day. And you got to build on that, right? But practicing gratitude is so very important. Focus on the opportunities and practice gratitude. That's going to lead to an abundance mindset. The next thing you want to do is set clear and achievable goals. Now, you know that I'm the person that's always telling you, man, you've got to set goals that are huge. And I still believe that. However, if you're just getting started out, or if you've been having some rough times in your life, or you've been having some rough times in your business, maybe set some smaller goals, something that you're going to be able to achieve. You got to put in work. Don't make it something like, oh, I want to wake up tomorrow. Although that's a great goal. I'm not saying it's not, right? But set some achievable goals so that you can start stacking some wins. Stack some wins and then build on those goals, but set clear and achievable goals. That'll help, because once you start winning at some things, now you start leaving that scarcity mindset, that fear, that negativity behind. Okay. Then you've got to commit to continuous learning and development. Does any of this sound familiar to you guys? it all centers around the same things. You getting better. You getting better. The only way you're going to make things better for yourself is by you getting better. We have control over our own selves. Plain and simple. Focus on what you can control, which is you, your attitude, and your actions. Your actions should be right now, focus on continuous learning, because the more you learn, the more you develop yourself, the more you start to realize, I'm being a little baby here and I'm getting in my own way, right? Because my mental fortitude is not there. And then the other thing that you want to do is be aware of your state. When you start, you have to be aware of the fact that, oh crap, I'm focusing on what I need to not be focusing on. I'm focusing on the negative part of things as opposed to this part of it. There's always going to be negative. If you're in business or you're in sales, the majority of what you do is going to be losing. You're going to lose the majority of the time. 80% of the time, you're going to fail. You're going to lose. You're not going to sell. You're not going to get the sale. You're just going to lose, if you want to call that losing. But I choose to not focus on that. I focus on the wins. I focus on the 20%. I focus on the ones that are making happen, the one that I can make it happen, because that is what pays the bills. That 80% is just a part of it. It's a part of life. You have to accept. The sooner you can get that through your head. I tell housing consultants all the time, man, it's good that you lost that deal. It's good that that customer backed out. It's good that that happened because you got that out of the way. And now you're moving on to the win, because that has to happen to get the win. 80% of the time, you're going to lose. So if you can accept that and you can put that through into what you do, you're going to see the benefits to it. And you're going to start to operate from an abundance standpoint, because you're going to understand, as much as it does not make sense right now when you think about it, the 20% is your abundance. The 20% creates the abundance in your life. Most people don't even win 20% of the time, folks. Most people don't have the opportunity to win 20% of the time. Most people are chess pieces. They're pawns within society that only, and man, I don't say this with any sort of disrespect, but just think about this for a minute. Most people show up to a job, get paid the same dollar amount per hour, and as long as they're there, they're trading time for money. And they're capped, they're limited on what they can do. You in manufactured home sales are not capped. You're not limited. You could do tremendous things for yourself and for your life, for your family, for your community, for your church, for everyone. You can use this as a springboard to do great things, grand things, with the amount of income that you can make here and the amount of families that you can help and the impact that you can have. But you need to wrap your head around that, and you need to accept that responsibility, because it is a responsibility. It's a huge responsibility. When you can make $200,000, $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 a year, that becomes a huge responsibility, because most people do not. Most people don't get the chance to get those 20% of wins that you do. You just got to stick to it and keep pushing forward. Are most people not going to buy? Are most people going to hang up on you? Are most people going to cancel? Are most people going to be disappointed? Are most people? Yes, they are. It's just like, don't focus on that. Oh, it always happens to me. Oh, people always. Come on, stop. We all have to deal with that BS. I'm sorry. Sometimes I get frustrated and it comes through in this, but I don't like thinking that way, because it gets in your way. And when you get in your way, you get in my way. Don't get in my way. Don't get in my way. Move out of the way. All right? So I hope that this helps. Do not let the scarcity mindset overtake you. And if you haven't watched this whole thing, if you're just logging in right now, you caught the tail end of it, watch it from the beginning. Share this show with everyone. Share the show. My wife and I were talking about that, right? Or I think yesterday. Get in there, start sharing these things, because more and more people need this. More and more people need this. They need you. They need this information. They need you to be that ambassador. I need you to be the ambassador of this message to everyone and anyone out there. Start sharing this stuff all across social media, man, because these things, no one comes in to share messages with you. The majority of people will not do this on a daily basis for free so that you can get your day started off on the right foot and hopefully make an impact that day and every day of your life, because that is what God created you to do. You, my friends, are manufactured to win, and that's what we believe here at Manufactured Home Sales Mastery. And that's what we're here, because we want to make sure we're helping you take your life, your business, your career to a whole new level. And whatever we can do to help, that's what we're here to do. God, I love this. You guys have a great Wednesday. Get on out there. Don't forget, tomorrow we have our marketing and sales webinar. It's a free webinar, 1 p.m. Central Standard Time. Go on our website, manufacturedhomesalesmastery.com. You can get the details. You can get registered. 1 p.m. webinar, marketing, sales strategies, what's working in marketing, where to market, how much to spend, if any, and then how to convert those leads into sales. David Finney from Build Media and myself, we're going to be putting this webinar together for you so that you can benefit, so that you can help many more people in your markets, and so that you can take your company, your community to number one in your market, because that's what we want to see you do. You guys have a great Wednesday. And as always, I can't wait to meet you.